Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another Sacred Union energy update. I didn't expect to be doing one so soon, but I am feeling good. I'm feeling the energy. So we're going to see what is going on. Wow, what is this? Okay. We had Lady Portia, Divine Order. Do what you feel is right. An important lesson is unfolding. I haven't used these decks in forever, so it's interesting that this was kind of snuck in there. This must have been years, at least a year or two, since I've used these decks. We're going to be using them tonight, but that's really interesting that Lady Nada in here. Everything is working out in divine order. Everything is happening in divine timing. It's this energy of trust that. I'm getting drawn to the flower over the heart chakra, that blossoming energy. They're actually asking me to, I don't even know where this is from. They're actually asking me to read from the book. We're getting right into the channeling tonight. We're going to get right into these spreads. Let me backtrack. What I want to do tonight is bring it down to like a physical level and see what's going on between the counterparts. How are things moving forward? How are things shifting? What's going on with regards to connection and sacred union? So we're going to be bringing it down a level a little bit. Who am I looking at? Lady Portia. This powerful goddess is a figure of justice and peace. Okay, immediately, before I even start, what I'm getting is this energy of everything is happening as it is meant to. It's this divine coming in and saying, please trust and please have faith that everything is happening as it's meant to, even if it looks like chaos in your physical world. It's a reminder that the physical world is illusory. The physical world is that hologram. It's a simulation. It's the reflection. They're asking you to go deep within your heart, to trust in your heart, to trust what is there, to listen to and honor what your soul is saying versus what you're seeing in the 3D. Now, this is especially a message for the divine feminines, divine masculines. I feel like this is related to you as well, but especially for the divine feminines. If you have been really focused on the 3D, or the 3D seems so just chaotic and crazy and like what the hell is happening, this energy is coming through. Divine order. It might look like chaos. It might look like, how can this ever happen? It's like you're watching a movie or reading a book. And it's, I'll get to that in a second. Slow down a little bit for me, guys. It's like you're watching a movie or reading a book and you think you have it all figured out, but all of a sudden somebody yells plot twist and the unexpected happens. That's what this energy feels like. It's like God is the one who's ultimately holding the pen. God is the one who can see the bigger picture. He is the director, the producer, and the publisher, the editor, the whatever, the author. And he's co-creating this with you. You have input. You have a say. You get to improv if you're the actor. You get to have a say because you're co-creating this as the author writing the book. But God ultimately has the bigger vision. He has the bigger idea, understands a bigger picture than we can really see for ourselves. If we were to pull back and look at that bird's eye view, if we were to pull back and look at that higher perspective, we would understand that. But sometimes we get so caught up in our lives that it's hard for us to really hone in and focus on what our soul is really guiding us to. Because sometimes we're not meant to see the next step ahead. We're just meant to trust and take that next step. And that's part of our initiation, they're saying. It's part of our initiation. That's part of our ascension. Can you trust? Can you have faith? Can you put your ego aside? Can you put your pride aside? Can you put that resistance aside? And trust the next step that I'm guiding you to take, that God's guiding you to take, the universe is saying. Can you trust that next step? Can you honor yourself within that sacredness? Can you honor yourself within that next step? And it's like, even if it feels very chaotic on the surface, trust that it is all working out. It is all almost like the story is writing itself. And you just have to trust that. You don't have to know every plot point. Let life surprise you. Let the universe surprise you. Let God surprise you, and let you surprise yourself, because your own soul has the blueprint. Your own soul knows the way. It's just your ego that gets caught up in, I don't know, what's next? I'm afraid. And the only reason why you're afraid is because of your ego that is programmed to the past. You're afraid of the past repeating itself, especially if there had been hurt. You're afraid of the future and the unknown. So bring yourself back to the present. That's your point of power, the now moment. That's your moment of power. That's your point of power. That's where everything gets quiet and everything stills and everything becomes sacred. That's where you're one with yourself, and that's where you're one with the universe. So allow yourself to release that patterning of the past. This is for both divine masculines and divine feminines. Divine feminines have been feeling that with regards to their sacred union. Divine masculines have been feeling that with regards to everything. With regards to, what if I do this in a job? What if I do this in a relationship? What if I do this with my family? Repeating patterns. It's this fear. You both are mirroring each other in that regard. Allow yourself to draw back from the past and worry about the future, and just bring yourself to the present moment. Now, that's not to say that you're always going to be present. This is part of a process. We are humans. This is part of a process through the ascension journey of bringing ourselves back to presence. And it gets easier and easier and easier the more that we do it. So if sometimes you get caught up in the fear of the past, it's okay. Compassion and kindness always. That's Kuan Yin's energy coming through. Compassion and kindness for yourself. Don't beat yourself up for that. Don't negate yourself. Don't berate yourself for that. Allow yourself to say, oh, I'm aware now. I'm aware of where I was getting caught up in the past. I'm aware of where I was getting caught up in the pattern or the fear of the pattern. Or, conversely, I'm aware of where I was getting too concerned and anxious about the future. And so now, with that awareness, I can bring myself back to the present. That awareness is key. That awareness is everything. It gets easier and easier and easier. But it is a practice. Ascension is a process that becomes a practice of your self-awareness. And so, allow yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. Be very compassionate with yourself and nurture yourself. Be merciful with yourself, Kuan Yin is saying. Grant yourself that same mercy that you grant others. Be kind to yourself, because this is a process. And don't rush the process. Allow it to unfold naturally, because that's part of the process in and of itself, is allowing it to unfold in its divine timing. You are right on time, exactly where you need to be, doing beautifully. All right. She brings order and opportunity to every experience. As a lord of karma, she also regulates the law of cause and effect. She helps us recognize the impact of our judgments, choices, and actions on ourselves and the world. She is the twin flame of Saint Germain, which is interesting because I had just invoked the violet flame prior to this reading. So it's strongly connected to the violet flame energy. Together, these twin flames can work as overseers of legal situations. Justice is an energy that's about honoring everyone involved rather than punishing bad behavior. This is where Kuan Yin is coming in as well. She's stepping forth in their energy of compassion, because what this is saying, what they're bringing through, is justice is being restored to your connection. It might seem like chaos. It might seem like everything is just out of sorts, and how is this ever possible? But remember, they're saying, remember the message that we got just a few weeks ago. You're closer to union than you think. You're closer to union than you think. It might not look in linear ways or linear means like you expected it to, but you are closer to union through the work that you've done and your ascension journey and this process and initiation that you have undergone. It's much closer than you have expected. You have to allow yourself to release the human logical mindset, the linear nature of it. It has to look like this because this is how life works, because this is the linear nature of life. Allow the plot twist, allow the surprise, allow yourself just to be in the energy of union, to be in the energy of love and peace and harmony and balance within. That is going to be reflected back to you. And then finally, Lady Portia helps us to do what is right morally and spiritually for our soul's growth. So this is the energy of that cause and effect, because you have been putting in the healing work, making those changes for yourself, for your life, shifting the energy within you to a higher frequency. You are changing dimensions energetically. You are shifting a consciousness, shifting to a higher consciousness. And once you shift into a higher consciousness, your vibration might lower sometimes, and that's okay. That's where you have compassion for yourself. But your consciousness does not go back to where it was. That's a whole dimensional shift that you experience. So even though your vibrations might fluctuate, your consciousness, once it shifts, that's the borderline now. That's where you're anchored in. And so because you have shifted and raised your frequency and gone through this process of ascension and reached this next level, so to speak, to say the least, there's this energy of karma, this balancing out, this cause and effect. The cause is you have gone through this initiation, you have gone through this ascension, through this massive growth, expansion, activation, and healing. The effect of that is seeing that reflected in your exterior world. We began that process of the shift back last year, last September. We were talking about that with Kali Ma. We talked about that as well in the previous Sacred Union Energy Update, where the masculines are really experiencing the physical nature of that change and of that transformation that might look like destruction, but it's so that a new beginning, a new creation can come in to match their new energy. Divine Feminines, we had experienced that previously, but now you're both at the precipice of this change. You don't even realize it, but what they're showing me is, Divine Feminines, you might think that you are on this cliff and the next step is just you flying into this new life for yourself. But what you don't see is your masculine is standing right beside you. Standing right beside you. Because they have gone through an accelerated growth, an accelerated ascension, they're standing right beside you. And what I'm seeing are you both taking each other's hands and kind of flying together. It's not falling. You're on the edge of a cliff, but it's only because that's a leap of faith, so to speak. Because you might not be able to see entirely what comes next, what's being created next. That's that leap of faith. But what comes next is you are literally out of the cocoon and flying into the next stage of your life. And that's going to look a little bit different for everybody. Maybe it's promotions, maybe it's moving, maybe it's new relationships, maybe it's different dynamics within connections. It's going to look a little bit different from everybody. But it's because of the shift that you've done within yourself. The energy has shifted so much that the effect is your life has changed. And you've been in the transition period of that. Now it's anchored in. And you're going to start to see that really physically. We talked about that. You've been seeing pieces of that over the past several months. But you're going to really see that anchored in up until the new year and a little bit beyond. 2023 is when it really feels like 2023 is when you're going to be living this new life. This could be a relationship. This could be maybe you've moved. This could be a different job or a business being built. Again, it's going to look a little bit different for everybody, but that's when it's going to really anchor in. It's like a new life. You've been seeing the shift, but this is where it's really anchoring in. But it's everything that you want. It's not anything that you don't want. And that's what they want you to understand. If that's kind of bring a little bit of fear to your heart, understand that it's not anything that you don't want. It's everything that you've been wanting to manifest that they're bringing in. It's like all this abundance, it's really yours. And because you have aligned to it, because you have shifted so much energetically, it's there. It doesn't feel like a windfall. It feels like you've been putting the pieces into place. That's part of that transition energy. And that might be why there's been a little bit of chaos, why you've been experiencing a little bit of chaos in your external world. And you're in a little bit of fear or anxiety. I don't know what's next. But there's also this sense of excitement. There's also this sense of anticipation. And that's because it's all coming into order. And all you have to do is just breathe into it. Bring yourself back to presence and enjoy the journey. Enjoy life. Enjoy it. And if you're not in a place where you're enjoying your life, now is the time to start making those changes. We have the new moon that reminded me, the new moon in Libra. If you are feeling out of balance with any area of your life, if there is something that you want to make a change about, if there is something that you feel like you're lacking, something that you want to shift, now is the time for you to take action, for you to take charge of your life, for you to make different choices. Now is the time for you to be brave. Now is the time. Because these decisions that you're making now, these choices and actions that you're making now are going to have profound effects. What is it that you want to create? Because it's being reflected back to you. Amazing. Okay, now let's get into it and see what is going on with the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine. All right, Divine Masculine, please. What is going on in their physical worlds? Divine Masculine. Yes, this is exactly what we had gotten in, I think it was yesterday's Sacred Union Energy Update, or the previous Sacred Union Energy Update, talking about how their tower had crumbled because it wasn't built on a sturdy foundation. And they've been going through this process of rebuilding it, but now on the foundation of love. And that's what was triggered when they met you, Divine Feminine. This, and we had channeled that it's almost at completion. That's this energy. They've been rebuilding themselves in a higher energy, not with the old wounded or distorted templates, but with the healing aspect. They've been going through their own growth, their own expansion, their own activations, their own healing, healing the patterns, healing the traumas, seeing where they were operating from old wounds or old traumas or old projections. And so with that new awareness, they've been rebuilding their lives. Away from expectations, I'm hearing, away from obligations and duties, and really trusting their inner authority, really trusting in their heart and their intuition, and letting that lead them. This is them trusting their own inner feminine energy to guide them, rather than their logic. I need to do this because this makes the most sense, or I should be doing this because this is what brings in money. They're honoring themselves now, and that's building a new energy for them. So we're going to get a couple of cards for a foundation. Feeling alone. This is that Five of Pentacles energy. But see how it was in the reverse? That's confirmation of yesterday's Sacred Union Energy Update as well. Make sure that you're checking that out. I'll put the link in the description box. We had channeled, they want to come in from the cold. They're understanding where they were rejecting themselves, where they were, especially when it comes to this connection, especially when it comes to their counterpart, they were rejecting their counterpart, avoiding their counterpart, running away from their counterpart, or pushing away their counterpart in the connection. And thus, they were only rejecting themselves. And they're beginning to understand that and see this. And I feel like they really want to rebuild the connection as well. Wanting to come in from out of the cold. Let's get one more card for the masculines, please. One more card for the masculines. Challenging times. 2 5s here. 5s being numbers of change as well. So I do feel like with this, they're overcoming. What I'm feeling is that 5 of Swords, 5 of Wands energy, that conflict. It could be external, it could be internal. For this, it feels like the battle of the mind and the ego, but I really feel like they're overcoming it. And it's this new energy. Whereas before they might have run away, before they might have kind of withdrawn and hid in their old habits, their old addictions, their old beliefs, their old perceptions, their old ways of doing things, now I feel like they're facing themselves. This is their inner conflict. Now I feel like they're facing themselves. They're facing their traumas. They're facing their past pains. They're facing themselves. They're facing their shadows. I'm also getting an energy of possibly even standing up for themselves when it comes to other people. Not in a toxic way, not in even a defensive way, but in a very peaceful and loving manner. standing up for themselves in a way that they hadn't done before. Again, it's not defensive. It's self-acknowledgement. It's a newfound sense of confidence. It's like it's honoring themselves, allowing themselves to say no. This divine masculine had been very controlled, and I feel like that comes from childhood. And because of that, they were very controlling. I don't feel like they saw themselves that way, but they were very controlling. There's a structure about their environment. And even if they had this kind of free spirit energy, there was a structure about their environment. It needed to be a certain way. People needed to be a certain way. And I feel like they shut down certain parts of themselves in order to maintain that feeling of protection and safety, self-safety. This is all about, their own experiences, their own traumas. This feeling of self-safety, self-protection kind of energy. And so it's like if they wanted to do something that was adventurous or spontaneous, it was fine. But if somebody else wanted to do that, then it was like, wait a minute. That's where they kind of try to control the narrative. Okay, the Spirit's bringing me clarity. It's like they weren't flexible or adaptable to other people. They might have been flexible and adaptable within themselves and their own lives, but when it came to interacting with other people, there was this sense of heightened anxiety and heightened need for self-protection, a defensiveness, because almost like they never quite understood what the other person might do. Maybe they were afraid that they would be attacked or blamed or hurt in some way. So they weren't very trusting of other people, and so they didn't allow themselves to adapt or be flexible when it came to partnerships, romantic relationships, family dynamics, things like that. I feel like this is them with this newfound sense of awareness, not wanting to isolate themselves anymore, not wanting to put that bubble over their head and just kind of hide away anymore, but wanting to face this. For example, if there is somebody that they're having trouble with, perhaps, some kind of dynamic that is, I don't want to say unhealthy, but that is challenging to them. It's like now they're learning how to confront that conflict in a healthier manner. They've been learning the tools and the resources in which to do that. Some of them might have been taking classes, listening to podcasts, reading books, reading posts, going to therapy, finding mentors, that kind of thing. But it's very healthy in which they have been getting the resources and the tools in which to help themselves, especially when it comes to other dynamics, especially when it comes to feeling unsafe with conflict or unsafe with confrontation or unsafe with especially when it comes to intimacy, especially when it comes to being vulnerable and opening themselves up. I'm getting the feeling like this person always kind of had one hand up like this. Like, I want you to be close. I want you to be close to me, but one hand up like this, but not too close. Not too close because that's scary, because I can't control that. I can't control you. I can't control all that. But that was coming from a sense of self-preservation, self-protection. So I feel like they're learning how to really be in their self-confidence and their inner authority, and to know that no matter what, they're going to be okay. No matter what happens, they're going to be supported. They're going to be okay. This is new energy for them. Really interesting. We're going to get deeper with the Divine Masculine in a minute. Let's see what's going on for the Divine Feminine. It's almost like they're rebuilding from the ground up, completely from the ground up. And I'm hearing that's what needed to happen, because, again, that foundation wasn't sturdy. It was a false foundation. It was a foundation that was built upon false pretenses of who they thought they needed to be, and that self-protection, that self-preservation mode. But now it's like they're really learning how to... They're learning about themselves for the first time ever. Really understanding themselves outside of the trauma and their childhood issues and the pain and the patterns and the programming and family dynamics and relationships that may have left scars on their heart. They're learning about themselves in a new light. I'm also getting this energy of like they're rewriting their own story, recognizing that they don't have to repeat who they thought they were, that they can rewrite the story and become who they want to be, who they've always wanted to be. Over here on this end, I'm getting the divine feminine. She's always had this gift of seeing the potential, right? She sees the potential in people. She sees the best of people. That's been a gift. It could also be kind of like a curse. The masculine has this gift too of seeing people, things for what they truly are. Divine feminine has a gift for seeing things for what they could be. And together it's a very powerful, beautiful force, because that's the balance, right? That's how you create that change into the highest possible outcome. There's this acceptance, but there's also, I know what's possible. And when you blend those together, when you merge those energies, it is a beautiful creator energy. It's this beautiful creation energy. That's how we create New Earth. It's understanding this reality that we're working with here and now. This is the reality that's been created from previous lifetimes and previous centuries and previous thoughts and previous beliefs, right? So we accept the current reality, but we also understand that it could be so much more. And that's where we start to implement and create those changes. That's where we create New Earth. New Earth doesn't happen like that. It happens because we accept that this is where we are in our current reality, but we know that we are making the change by embodying more love, embodying more peace, embodying more harmony, embodying our highest potential and our highest self. And the more people who begin to embody that highest self, that's where we begin to make that change in the physical reality. So it's not to say that the physical reality is all there is and all there ever will be. Physical reality is a constant evolutionary cycle. It's constant expansion. And the more people who are embodying their higher self and their higher potential, the more people are creating that change in the now moment, in the present reality. So that's the beautiful balance of the masculine and the feminine dynamics. So the feminine, especially when it comes to the masculine, she's always seeing their highest potential. The masculines are starting to appreciate that and understand that, and are starting to rise to that because they want to be their highest potential now too. They just got caught up in the patterns and the programming of their past. Oh, this is who I am. This is who I've always been. This is what people see of me. And they got themselves stuck there. But now they're starting to see what the divine feminine has always seen in them, and they want that for themselves. It's not that the divine feminine is asking the masculine to change for her. She's challenging him to grow into his best and highest self, that she knows that he's always wanted to become. Remember, you guys are sharing one energy. You understand each other inside and out. Even if the physical world looks chaotic, even if the physical world looks very different to that, intuitively you understand each other inside and out. It's just your own pain patterns and projections from other relationships that might not have been that energy of unconditional love that kind of got in the way. I feel like I'm being knocked on my ass right now because I was in that energy of ego, of the world and connection looks so crazy. How is this ever going to come to pass? But man, I learned from these readings just as much as you guys. I swear. All right. Divine Feminines. Where's the Divine Feminine? She's got the Ace of Cups. Love begins. Wow. Love begins. She is opening up her heart again. She had been very, very guarded, but she's opening up her heart again because she's recognizing that the more she honors herself, the more she loves. I love this. It's like, you see how one sleeve is like pink, one sleeve is yellow. Like these are two people, but they're holding on to the same chalice. And it's like the more that she honors herself and gives herself in healthy ways, the more that she's filled up. But she has to allow herself to receive as well, because that's what allows for her to give. The more the feminine energy is able to receive, the more she's able to give, because she feels safe to give, because she feels nurtured, because she feels nourished, because she feels fulfilled. If she's in an overgiving energy and she's not being filled up, She's sacrificing herself. She's playing the martyr. That's the distorted feminine energy. And it just depletes her. But if she's replenished, and that's where the masculine steps in, the masculine energy is naturally a giver. They provide that safe space for the feminine. They provide that love and that reassurance and that nurturance. It's a divine father energy. The more that he's able to give to the feminine, that protector energy, that provider energy, the more she's able to receive. And the more she receives, the more she's able to give. And it's this beautiful, beautiful divine energy exchange. But you have to meet each other. You have to meet each other where you are. You have to meet each other in the middle, in that balance, in that zone in the middle, that neutral zone in the middle, so that you can have that beautiful balance between you two, pouring into each other, helping to grow each other, helping to nurture each other and love each other and support each other. All right. There's, she can feel it too. She can feel a new beginning in love and partnership coming in. She doesn't have all the answers, but she can feel it. Interesting. Yeah, she's getting herself caught up in the who, the what, the where, the when, the why. She's getting herself caught up in this mental conflict, this Two of Swords energy. She's getting herself caught up in, like, trying to figure it out. Don't need to figure it out. Allow it to flow. Allow yourself just to be. Divine feminine energy just embodies the flow of life, the energy of life. Just allowing yourself to be and create within the nature of being. One more for the divine feminine. This could be, I'm also getting, this could be some of her inner masculine energy that's trying to apply it logically. But again, this connection is not a logical connection. Sacred partnership is not a logical connection. Ascension is not logical. You have to have a significant amount of faith, trust, and intuition in which you follow. You have to trust in that intuition. That's one of the key components of your journey, one of the key lessons that you learn. And we have the Empress, that fertility energy. This is her, look at that heart chakra. It's mirroring the heart chakra here that I was pointing to, the blossoming flower. There is heart expansion that is happening here. And I'm getting this energy of she's giving birth. She's giving birth to the sacred union. She's birthing this new life. She's birthing this new world. But she's birthing it for all, especially for herself in her own individual life. But she's also birthing it for the connection. I'm just getting drawn to the cosmos that's here in her hair, all this fertility energy. Oh, it's so interesting. It's like there's these tree branches, but behind her is the cosmos, these stars. So getting that the masculine puts down the roots and the feminine is birthing this into the cosmos. We had channeled a long time ago that that's what this sacred union is all about. I'll put the link to that channeling in the description box as well. You birth a new world. When you both come together in that harmony, in that sacredness, in that union, the love between you guys is so powerful. And when you're allowing yourselves to love each other, just completely open, completely expanded, without that resistance and the triggers and the pain of the past, when you allow yourselves to truly love each other with that open heart, without conditions, with complete expansion, then the love between you two is so powerful that you birth a new universe. That's this energy here. This feels, I'm getting the word preparation. I'm feeling like this union is closer than you can even imagine. My own ego as Susan wants to be like, what the hell are you talking about, Spirit? But I can't help what I channel. I just have to trust it. This union is closer than you can even imagine it. This is getting ready to be birthed. In the physical form, in the physical being. And it's like when you guys come together, it is so magical. It is so powerful. It is a new template of love. And what I'm actually seeing is there are going to be people who, you're like that power couple. You're going to see people who are looking at you wondering how it's even possible. Wondering if this love is even possible. But that's because you are the leaders. You are the way showers. You are the forefront to show people what this connection is all about, what it is to be healed and conscious with one another in healthy connection and in healthy partnership. It's not just about the physical relationship, but it's about the energy behind that, the openness, the expansion behind it, the consciousness behind your connection, behind your relationship. This is the sacredness. I keep getting drawn to the examples of Mary and Jesus, and Isis and Osiris, and other twin flame couples, Saint Germain, Lady Portia, other twin flame couples, and what that really means. When you think about Jesus and Mary, for example, or Isis and Osiris, you understand their ascended nature. They were approaching it from a higher level of consciousness because they were so connected to God's source, Mother, Father, God source, whatever it is that you want to call it. They were so connected to the universe that helped them become connected to each other in the energy of love. And because they were so conscious, they didn't have all that pattern and all the triggers and all the projection and all the resistance and all the attachment energy, the avoidance and the anxiousness and all that stuff getting in the way. It was just pure love. Because you have lived for centuries and centuries and centuries and gone through lifetimes and have all this ancestral programming and karma, etc., that has been accumulated, you had a lot of clearing to do on your journey. But what's happening now, because you have cleared so much and ascended so much, and you have shifted so much, you're coming into a sacred union where there is just that healthy, secure love. Doesn't mean that you don't work on it. You work on it together in a healthy communication, in a healthy, conscious manner. Especially when it comes down to the 3D muck kind of stuff, the 3D relationship kind of stuff. You still have to work on it, consciously work on it. But it's in a higher energy of love that has ever been experienced. And that's what makes it healthy. It's the consciousness factor. If you want to learn more about twin flames, I highly, highly, highly recommend my workshop, Twin Flame Truths. It goes through all of this. The purpose of twin flames, sacred union, mission, karmic relationships, partnerships, experiences, all of that. It's a 3-hour workshop with a unity consciousness and separation, release, angel aura, energy healing at the end, to help clear out some of that energy. But I highly, highly, highly recommend it. I think it'll be, especially if you're new to the concept of twin flames, or if you just want like a refresher or a deeper understanding of twin flames and this kind of energy, I think it'll be really helpful. This is not what I intended to do tonight, but here we are, as usual. I can't help what I channel, you guys. It's just what comes out. That's why it's so beautiful that there are so many different readers and so many different ways of reading, because you can get something, whatever it is that you need to understand your journey, from everybody. This is just what I end up channeling. You know, I wanted to bring it down. Spirit did not want me to do that. So here we are. I'm trying to figure out what deck I want to use now. I do want to see what is going on for the Divine Masculine, and I want to use some tarot, and I don't know where I want to go. Okay, we're going to use these. And we're going to pair it with this one. This feels like the masculine. That feels like the feminine. Okay. Interesting. Nope, this is going to be the masculine. This is going to be the feminine. Interesting, okay. It's interesting. We have more of a feminine energy here, more of a masculine energy with this deck here. I don't know if you guys can see it with that deck here. But it's interesting. I'm getting called to this one for the Divine Masculine. And I feel like it's because they're balancing out their feminine energy. Like we had channeled yesterday, they're coming into their sacred union. They're coming into their balance, honoring the feminine energy within them, which means they're honoring the feminine energy in this connection outside of them. Their embodied feminine energy, which is you, Divine Feminines. And you are, like we channeled yesterday as well, you are in a place of feeling really secure and stable within your own inner masculine, which means that you are trusting and feeling safe with your embodied masculine. Now, that doesn't mean that when you guys come together, there are not things to be worked on. We do not sweep things under the rug. We do not excuse things. If there are things that need to be communicated and expressed, they need to be communicated and expressed. But that's what heals. That communication, that expression, that honesty, that vulnerability, that intimacy is what heals. It's what heals the connection, and it's what draws you forward. Because there's no more suppression, there's no more bypassing, there's no more ignoring. We don't do that. We don't do that in New Earth. We don't do that in higher dimensional, higher consciousness energy. We allow ourselves to face what needs to be faced with honesty, with integrity. That's this new energy. That's what this partnership is bringing in. The safety, the container of love with which you can do that with each other. But that means both partners have to be able to do the work to get there, to approach that connection. What's going on for the divine? Okay. What's going on for the divine masculine, please? Ace of Cups was flipped over. I'm not going to take it, but Ace of Cups was flipped over. What's going on for the divine masculines, please? What's the current energy? What are they dealing with right now in their physical world? What is the divine masculine dealing with right now in their physical 3D world? What is the divine masculine dealing with right now? Nine of Wands, Six of Wands. And the Empress. And the Ace of Cups again at the bottom of the deck. I'm getting two messages here. I feel like they could have been doing a little bit of battle, doing a lot of healing with a mother figure. This could be a mother. This could be a stepmother. This could be mother of a child. This could be a partner. This could be some kind of mother figure. I feel like they have been doing some kind of battle. Remember when I said that they're facing some kind of conflict, but doing it in a new way where they're really standing up for themselves in this newfound energy of confidence, but it's not arrogance. It's not ego. This is internal confidence. This is honoring oneself. That's what this energy feels like. I feel like they have been experiencing a lot of, I'm hearing a lot of karma. So there's been a lot of karma clearing with whoever this mother figure is. It could also be inner child healing, where they're reparenting themselves, where if there was a neglectful mother I'm hearing, or a mother that was abandoning them, critiquing them, judging them, that kind of thing, that it kind of fragmented them in some way. I feel like there's a lot of reparenting that's happening where they're learning how to mother themselves, learning how to honor the mother energy, the feminine energy within themselves. So there's a couple of different messages that's coming through. But I feel like for the most part what's happening is where there had been through a heavy journey and a heavy battle, there's karma that's releasing, that's leading to this sense of victory. And I'm also hearing acknowledgement. They're acknowledging themselves with the Six of Wands energy. They're acknowledging themselves. They're recognizing themselves. There's a greater sense of awareness of themselves. And that is giving birth to this newfound sense of honoring the feminine, because they're healing the feminine energy. So there's some kind of conflict resolution that's happening here with a mother figure. Again, it could be inner child healing, but that conflict resolution where they had been so exhausted from battles before is because they were just perpetuating the same way, the same patterns of this experience. We had channeled this a little while ago. It's the energy of the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again, but expecting different results. It's like they were repeating the same cycle, repeating the same conflict, repeating the same pattern. And even if they were making little changes, it was the same energy. It's like if you're driving along a road, you're still, even if you choose a different route to take, if you're in the same energy, like if you're in a bad mood, doesn't matter what road you take, you're going to be in a bad mood when you arrive. But if you shift the energy, then it's going to shift your journey. That's what they're beginning to understand. They're stepping into it from a new energy. Rather than repeating the patterns in the same old energy that they were in, they're shifting their perspective, shifting the energy within themselves, and that's bringing about a new outcome. And they're beginning to understand this and recognize this, and that's shifting the dynamic that they have with this mother figure. It could be there's a lot of healing that's happening here. But I also am feeling the energy of the feminine. So I feel like the feminine is underneath the surface here. This isn't directly correlated with you, but I feel like you're a guiding light for them. It's like they're feeling your love as they're healing this feminine dynamic, whatever this is, as they're healing this mother energy. So it's really, they might have been experiencing some conflict, they might have been doing some battles, but they're overcoming it. And I feel like they're feeling like your love and your presence, and it's guiding them to heal this feminine energy. I'm going to stay with the Divine Masculine, please. How are they feeling about this connection with the feminine? How are they feeling about the connection with the feminine? How are they feeling about you? Four of Swords, Four of Voices. You're constantly on their mind. You might feel like you've been forgotten, brushed aside, especially if you're in some kind of separation and lack of communication. You might have felt, Divine Feminines, like you are out of sight, out of mind, but you are constantly on their mind. They're thinking about you. They're dreaming about you. There's a lot of healing that's going on within them, especially when it comes to this connection, because they're doing a lot of feminine healing that's happening here. I feel like they're also recognizing, seeing things with new clarity. They're recognizing where they were projecting whatever this mother wound is. Again, it could be a mother, stepmother, sister, a partner, like an old romantic partner, an ex-partner, a mother, whatever this is. Whatever feminine energy this was, that is not you. Whatever feminine energy this was, they're recognizing that they were projecting those old wounds onto you in your connection. They're recognizing this. I'm hearing the word unfair. They're recognizing that this was unfair to you. They're recognizing how much projection they had done onto you in your connection. They're recognizing that you have always been different, but they were just projecting their old wounds with this feminine figure onto you. And that's what's healing. The more that they're healing this feminine energy within them, not only is it healing this dynamic, whoever this is, but it's also healing the way that they're viewing you. What I'm hearing is opening up to you. Opening up to this love that they've always felt with you, but they had tried to, I'm hearing the word sequester, that they had tried to hold back within themselves, or resist within themselves, because they were so wounded by this feminine energy here. So there's a lot of healing that's taking place. They recognize where it was unfair to you, and I feel like they're seeking forgiveness, but they're seeking forgiveness first and foremost from themselves. How are they feeling towards you, the Divine Feminine? Six of Emotions, Six of Cups, yeah. Not only is this tied to the inner child healing that's happening here, but they're wanting this reunion with you. They're wanting this, they're feeling this connection. They understand that you have, okay, I'm getting a lot of information here. They're feeling like not only have you had past lifetimes together, but I'm hearing the phrase, you've existed for all of eternity. So they're really beginning to understand, I'm really getting chills here, they're really beginning to understand the sacredness of this connection and the oneness of this connection, that you guys really are truly these divine counterparts, the sacred couple, these twin flames. Whatever label you want to use it, the label doesn't matter, it's the energy. Really understanding that you are truly one. You're one soul, you're one connection. They're really beginning to understand the eternal nature of this connection. What I'm actually seeing is the universe, and I'm seeing you both traveling across space and time with one another and towards one another. So if you've experienced separation in other lifetimes, you always traveled towards one another to find one another across space and time. That is the power of this love. And you found each other in this lifetime, and they're understanding this. It is so overwhelming. I'm getting really choked up right now because it's so incredibly beautiful and overwhelming. They're really beginning to understand the nature of this love and the nature of this connection. there's also this inner child energy that's tied up in this. And the more they heal their inner child, the more they're recognizing you and your inner child. And what I'm actually seeing is that Burning Man statue that we channeled a couple of weeks ago, where it's two adults that are sitting on the ground. It's this massive statue at Burning Man. It's two adults that are sitting back to back. They're not facing each other, almost like they're in conflict. But within those two adult statues are two children that are facing each other, trying to reach each other, wanting to reach each other. And it's that kind of energy. It's recognizing the children, the innocence in each other, the love, the purity of love that you have for one another, the divinity, the sacredness within each other. And within this love, within this connection, they're really beginning to understand this. So the more healing that they do, the more awareness that they have, the more accountability and responsibility that they take, the more authority that they have for themselves, the more they are doing this healing work that is actually bringing you both together. I'm also getting drawn to this kind of connection here. So it's like this is God source, and the more that they're connecting to God source, they don't have to call it God source. They can call it whatever you can call it whatever it is that you want. But it's like this is that Holy Trinity. This is that connection that you're all connected as one. God, you, your counterpart, all connected as that one focal point, as that one energy, recognizing that as well. And one more card for the Divine Masculine, please. One more card for the Divine Masculine. How are they feeling about the feminine or this connection? The Knight of Swords and the Strength card. I love it. Leo energy coming out again. That Leo energy, that lion energy has been really persistent. Six of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck as well. That Leo energy has been really persistent since the Lion's Gate. That Lion's Gate was a powerful portal that really helped these divine counterparts shift. You might experience this as a tower moment, but it was a massive, massive shift within the self, a massive activation for your expansion. I feel we have the Hermit at the bottom of the deck below the Six of Pentacles, but I'm not called to take it because I don't feel like these masculines are in that Hermit energy. At least they're not in that withdrawn energy, or they won't be for very long, for very much longer. I'm seeing that with the Knight of Swords as well, the Knight of Voices. I feel like they're wanting to express themselves, and they're gaining that courage, gaining that strength in which to do so. And I love that it's this woman here, because it's like that feminine energy is really guiding this. Again, they're drawing me to the new moon. We have this new moon, and new moons are great for planting seeds, but new moons are also kind of leading the way, guiding the way. It's a fresh cycle of the moon's journey. And it's like it's guiding the way for the release that comes with the full moon. And so I feel like not only are you planting seeds, but you're also releasing what needs to be released in order for those seeds to come to fruition, or for those seeds to bloom. It's like if you have you've planted seeds, right, and you're nurturing it, and on the full moon it's like you go out to the garden and you see there are all these weeds, so you have to pick the weeds. And that's this kind of energy that is coming in here. If you want this to really come to fruition, if you want this to really come to full bloom, you have to keep picking at the weeds, which is old patterns, old beliefs, old toxicities, old whatever it is, shifting those things inside of you that just are outdated, old energy that just aren't serving you anymore, that's not serving this new energy within yourself, this new frequency within yourself that you're trying to embody and anchor in. And so I feel like part of that is they're gaining the strength. The Hermit energy is there because they're listening to their inner wisdom now. That's what they learned along this journey, in this silence, in this perceived separation if you're in separation, or in this kind of going into the cave because they needed that time to really understand themselves, believe in themselves, and kind of journey on themselves. Again, if you haven't read The Alchemist, read The Alchemist. It's a beautiful journey of ascension. And that's what this was. It was understanding their own journey of ascension, but they needed to go into that cave. And I feel like that's where they understand themselves and their own guidance, where they were operating from ego, and now where they're operating from the feminine energy of intuition and from the heart. understanding the heart in a much different way. And that is giving them the courage and the strength to step forward in their self-expression, in their conscious thought, in their conscious vocalization. What they mean by that is communication, speaking, speaking their hearts, allowing themselves, rather than holding back and suppressing their words, allowing themselves to speak from their hearts and express their emotions, especially. I mean, it doesn't mean that you have to share with the whole world. You allow yourself to discernment. You allow yourself to share with those that you trust, with those that you feel safe with the community that you feel safe with the community that you trust, that you've built, yourself around. So that's what they're doing. They're learning how to open themselves up and become more vulnerable and more intimate, especially divine feminines, with you, because you are their safe space. You are where they feel the most at home. And I feel like with this Six of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, they're understanding how it was unfair. They weren't giving in as much effort as maybe they thought they were, or that they recognized that they were kind of giving the bare minimum, that they didn't think that they were capable of giving more. But they were just holding themselves back out of old beliefs and old patterns, right? And so now they're wanting to give in more reciprocity and more balance. And again, it's that beautiful flow of give and receive. The more they're able to give, the more the feminine's able to receive. The more she receives, the more she's able to give. And then it's just this beautiful flow of love and energy between you two in a harmonious, loving relationship. So divine masculines truly going through their ascension, understanding this, and waking up to this. Wow. Okay. I do feel like this is going to continue to be a process. I don't foresee this happening as far as expressive communication soon. I feel I'm getting January. I do feel like there's going to be something significant happening in October that's been coming through for me. I don't quite know what that is yet, but I do feel like there's something of significance, maybe a reunion, a meeting, a conversation happening in October. But I do feel like there's going to be a significant shift around the solstice in January, in the wintertime in the northern hemisphere. I do feel like there's something of significance happening there that's going to create a massive, massive shift. But I feel like up until then, there's going to be like pieces falling into place. Okay, that's if you're resonating with this. Divine Feminines, what is going on for you in the physical 3D world? What is going on for you in your physical 3D world? Divine Feminines. Empress and Empress, there you are again. And the Empress over here as well. So I feel like you're mirroring this, but it's almost like, remember when I was saying how when the masculine is healing this feminine energy, it's because you're there kind of guiding them and loving them, and they're recognizing that, or at least they're very much feeling this, even if they're not entirely conscious of it. That's this. This is you. Because you are in your feminine energy, you are guiding all of this. The feminine energy really goes through their ascension first, leading the way for the masculine. And that's what I feel like this is. You are giving birth to this connection. You are giving birth to this new sacred union. This new phase of your connection, this new phase of your relationship, this new phase of your union. You're giving birth to this new dimension of your union, deeper than it's ever been. So the first phase, we've talked about this, there was a massive ending that occurred over the past year. The first phase was the healing. It was the activation. It's where you were understanding the journey as a whole, where you're beginning your healing journey, your remembering journey, who you are. You were clearing away all those cobwebs, all that, what I like to call soul sludge, all the triggers, all the traumas, all the pains, all the patternings. You were awakening to who you truly are. You were ascending to who you truly are. You're embodying that now. And that's beginning a new phase of your ascension journey, a higher phase of consciousness, a higher phase of your journey. And what's happening is through your embodiment, you're giving birth to this sacred union in your physical world, which is harmonious, which is grounded, which is balanced, which is reciprocated, which is in beautiful partnership, in love with each other. You're giving birth to this in the physical because of the conscious work that you've done. both of you. Both of you have done this. Divine Feminine led the way. She's embodying this now. So she's giving birth to it. Divine Masculines, you're grounding this in. Divine Feminine, what's going on for her in the physical? The Tower. You're breaking through to a new version of yourself. And this could be something new as far as you could be giving birth to a new version of your life as well. Again, this could be a new job, a new business, a new... Some of you could even be pregnant, be giving birth. New relationship, new harmonies, new dynamics, new place to live, that kind of thing. But there's something that you're giving birth to in the physical that's breaking you through, breaking you open, transforming your physical life. This Tower doesn't feel like it's something to fear. In fact, it feels really, really good. It feels like you're just being broken open. It feels like, you know how we talk about the chrysalis, the butterfly coming out of the chrysalis? And that's what it feels like. It feels like the butterfly coming out of the chrysalis. So you were in this chrysalis, now you're breaking open. But you have to crack open that egg. You have to crack open that chrysalis. You have to break that open in order for the new to take place and transform to really be embodied. That's what's happening here. You're breaking it open. What's going on for the feminines in the physical? One more card here. What's going on for the feminines in the physical? It's interesting. Lately, I haven't been getting a whole lot for the feminines, but I feel like things are pretty steady. There's a lot of changes and shifts and energy coming through for the masculines. I feel like divine feminines are pretty much holding steady. Again, physical changes, but for the most part, holding steady, especially energetically and emotionally. Divine feminines, what's going on for you in the physical? What flipped over? Oh, that's too many. And the Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, you're slowly... I'm just getting, like, getting your abundance. Like, you're slowly getting your abundance. Like, it's coming in. You're feeling this. You're walking towards it. It's like you're collecting it. That's what I'm getting from this energy here. You're collecting your abundance. It's coming in. You're seeing those changes. And this is because, yeah, see, Nine of Cups. You're getting your abundance. You're getting your fulfillment. You're getting your happiness. This is because of the work that you've done. Cause and effect. This is the work that you've done. The work that you've done is the cause. It's what creates the catalyst for movement, for change. The reward, I don't like to use that word because life is not a reward system. It's just an alignment system. But the effect is, well, now that you've done the work, you're aligned to it. It's coming in. That's what this is all about. It's really beautiful. How are you feeling about your masculine? What's going on with your connection? How are you feeling about your masculine? Divine feminines. How are you feeling about your masculine? Ace of Wands. I'm getting this inspiration idea, or this inspiration. Like you might be feeling this connection again. It's like sparking something inside of you again, which it had been really dormant. You might have felt detached. You might have felt disconnected. But I feel like there's a lot that's happening energetically. You might even be having a lot of telepathy. You might not even recognize it as telepathy. But it's telepathy. You're picking up on things. It doesn't mean that you have to take action on it, but you're picking up on things. You're understanding things. You're getting new insights. I'm going to share with you guys, like I had a feeling that, well, whether, I don't know if it's true or not, but I felt like my divine masculine was kind of looking around and entertaining, new connections. And I just felt it. I could feel it. But it wasn't anything that angered me. It wasn't anything that made me jealous. It was something that was like, okay, you know, that's all right. You know, I understand it. Because I also felt the love that was coming from him, where it was almost like he wasn't able to see the connection he has with me with anybody else. And I know that anytime that I've tried to encounter anybody else, it's almost like, well, it's impossible because I feel so connected to my counterpart. That's where my ego is. You guys have heard me say over the past couple of readings, my ego is like, is it him? Is it not him? What's the truth? And it's like my soul knows the truth, but my ego is like, well, how is this even possible? How can this even happen? But plot twist, right? Just allow yourself to trust, allow the journey to unfold, allow it to surprise you. Let go of the who, let go of the what, let go of the when, let go of the how, let go of the where, let go of all of it, and just be. But I feel like you're picking up on things. I feel like you're really, you're really psychic. Like you're really in tune. It doesn't mean like you have to act on it. It doesn't mean that you have to be triggered by it. It's just coming into your awareness, for your understanding. And I feel like you are just, you're feeling this connection again. Where you have been detached, you're feeling this connection again. You're getting a lot of insight and downloads and understandings about it. And I feel like that's even helping you balance out within yourself. For example, what I just shared, it's like I didn't need to get upset about it. There was nothing to be upset about. It was just, okay, we're not together. Okay, I hope that he's happy. That's the most that I want from him, is for him to be happy, for him to experience whatever it is that he needs to experience, because I was feeling that sacredness within me. I was feeling the connection within me. It was only when I was feeling disconnected that I was starting to feel like, what the hell is happening here? Where is this connection? I don't feel it anymore. Maybe he's not my counterpart. But when I tune in, when I trust in what my soul is saying, then it's just, okay, it's just love. It's just love. And I know what I mean to him, and I know what he means to me. That's not to get me caught up in another cycle, in another loop, in another hook. It's not to get me attached. It's just that awareness of what the connection means, that awareness of what the love truly is, and how it exists between us. For example, well, I'm not going to get into that. I don't need to get into that. But this is you receiving understanding and downloads that is helping you on your journey as much as your understanding it's helping them on theirs. Because it's like sacred union is the end goal. Not end goal, end game. It's the end game. You know that you're coming into union, no matter who it's with, you can feel that masculine energy. Or if you're a masculine, you can feel that feminine energy. You understand this. You intuitively understand this. You know this. And so it's like you release any of that attachment and just feel into the energy of love. You only have to choose the path of love. You're only choosing the path of love. And once you allow yourself to be very present in the energy of love, that's when you're open to it. That's when it's aligned to you. So you're understanding this, and I feel like you're having a lot of telepathic communication, dreams, downloads about not just your connection, your counterpart, but about your union as well. Tell me more. Seven of Wands. Yeah, you're just not letting anything disturb your peace. Exactly this. So it's not, Seven of Wands can sometimes be this defensive energy, but look how she's just like nonplussed. She's just like, nope, I'm just sitting here, nothing's disturbing my peace. You might be getting like intuitive ideas and telepathy and insights and understanding, but you're not letting anything disturb your peace because you recognize the sacredness and the sanctity of this connection and how protected it is. It is truly protected. And the more you begin to look at your union as sacred, rather than something that is lacking in your life, but recognizing something that is sacred within you, that's when you call it to you. That's when you're calling it to you. You're just not letting anything, and look, she's even in a bubble. You're just not letting anything disturb you. You're not letting the physical 3D disturb you at all. I had a little hiccup yesterday. There was no communication on my birthday from my masculine. I had no expectation of it. I even anticipated that he wouldn't say anything, but it was still a little bit disappointing. But I entered into this state. I allowed myself to enter into this state of, you know what? I'm going to just fill myself up on joy. I had a magical week away. I have so much love in my life, and I allowed myself to lean into that. to recognize the sacredness and the joy of my life, and that it didn't depend on something outside of myself to feel that. And the more I understood that, the more I realized that how much there was still this like dependency outside of myself for that joy, that I was still kind of relying on him to fill me up, relying on him to bring me that joy. And I realized that I don't need that. Do I want connection with somebody? Absolutely, because I want to share that life with somebody, because I want to be able to support and love each other. But the need is not there. And the more like I just entered into that state of loving myself and loving my life, the more I entered into the sacred bubble of nothing's going to disturb me. Nothing's going to upset me. I have those tools and I have those resources now to, if I am disturbed, to come back from. I have that awareness of, oh, this is why I'm being triggered. Let me heal this, to heal it and come back to that place of peace. That's what this energy is right here. This is a newfound sense of balance within your connection, because you're recognizing what your connection truly is. It is love. It is absolutely love. It might not look that way all the time. That's not to excuse their 3D behavior, but energetically, it is love. Believe me, like that was sucky. That was sucky yesterday. That's what was disappointing, because his 3D behavior was pretty sucky, you know, especially after everything that we shared, and we were, I thought, still friends. But this energy, it's still love. It's still love. So the 3D and the 5D, the energy isn't exactly aligned, but you're not letting the 3D bother you, because you're so in the energy of the sacred. You're so understanding that. You're in your own sacredness. You're in your own union. All right, feminines. Let's get one more card for the masculines. How are you feeling about the masculines? How are you feeling about the masculines? Nine of Pentacles and the King of Wands, exactly. It's interesting, this King of Wands coming up in the reverse. I don't take reversals unless I'm called to it, you know. But this Nine of Pentacles, this is you. This is exactly what I was saying. Just finding the joy for yourself, finding the stability for yourself, living your life. This is that Empress energy. This is like you're completely fulfilled and independent and happy on your own. There's no partner here, but there doesn't need to be, because you're so fulfilled within yourself. Do you want to share with somebody? Yes, that's what the 10 of Pentacles is. It's bringing in that partnership in the physical, that relationship, becoming a couple with somebody and building that home, that business, that family, that mission, whatever it is. It is building in the physical with somebody, but that's when you share. That's when you come together in conscious relationship and share. But you don't need that. You don't need to attach to that. You're not dependent on that. You have that within yourself. What I love about the King of Wands kind of coming up in the reverse here was that recognition of, yeah, I don't need that, but I want that. But I don't need that, because I'm here collecting my own pentacles. I'm here in my own stability. But I love this because it's like there is a King of Wands that is coming in. And I feel like with the line here in the back, gaining that strength, gaining that courage to show up as the King of Wands. They might not be here in that energy yet, and that's why you're just, you know, enjoying your life and moving forward in your life and what you need to create for yourself. And that King of Wands is going to show up, and I feel like it's going to show up very fast. I feel like this King of Wands is very passionate for you, is very loving towards you, very affectionate, very expressive. I feel like this King of Wands just knows what they want and is going to go for it. Once they decide, once they know what they want, they're just going to go for it, because they have this tenacity, they have the strength, they have the courage. This is not the Knight of Wands, which can feel impulsive, which can feel rash, which can feel kind of like in and out playboy. No, this is a king. This is a king. This is a divine masculine. This is somebody who is in their inner authority, in their strength, their leadership, their courage, who is coming in with a lot of passion. And what I love about this is we have the King of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck as well. So this is someone who is stable. So it's not just passion, but it's stability. Stability, consistency, and presence. And that makes for a really beautiful connection. Amazing. All right, you guys, I'm losing my voice. We're going to end it here. We're going to come back next week with some more. This is amazing energy. I'm loving this. I'm really interested to see how this plays out and how this shifts. So stay tuned. I'm sending you guys so much love and so much light, and we'll see you next time. Bye.